our lawyers?
Tracey, I'd just like to say from my experience of acting in the Essendon supplicants matter, prior to that I acted for former Melbourne coach Dean Bailey. And nice to see you, Brendan, but I'm going to mention your brother here. Dean was the Melbourne coach, and he and assistant coach Chris Conley and Brendan's brother Cameron, the CEO, were charged with bringing the game into disrepute and also basically tampering with the draft. Basically, at the end of the day is that the AFL proceeded with these odd, as I said, charges of bringing the game into disrepute. They proceeded against Chris Conley and also my client Dean Bailey, something which I feel quite strong about because a year later is that Dean died of cancer. But in relation to Brendan's brother Cameron, is that the charges were not proceeded with. The basis for that was the following. Cameron Schwab was the CEO of Melbourne. He was also on the board of the Bentley Club, which was the licensed club that had the poker machines. That basically underpinned the financial viability back then of the Melbourne Football Club. The Victorian gaming laws say that if a director of a community club such as that, or licensed club, is charged with any offence, is that they would lose their licence. The effect of that would be that the Melbourne Football Club could have lost its licence. There'd be 17 teams in an 18-team competition, and basically you're in breach, or the AFL would be in breach of the broadcasting rights. You've basically got 17 clubs. The broadcasting rights, in terms of the AFL, underpin the whole competition. And that was the reason why the charges were not proceeded before against Cameron Schwab. Now, you know, I really just can't see how. And then after that is that my client at the time, Dean Bailey and Chris Conley, they were small guys, they were charged, they were rubbed out for a year or so. The other issue too is that, which Brendan you mentioned, is that I'm a little bit more cynical in the AFL competition. We've had quite a bit of dealings with the AFLPA. I cannot see, to be honest, how the AFLPA can honestly, and for that matter the AFL Coaches Association, honestly protect their members' rights and issues, because the AFLPA and the AFL Coaches Association are totally funded by the AFL. They're basically the 19th and 20th licences in the competition. So with that, in terms of the AFL, is the most unindependent organisation dealing with sport, in my view, in the country.